Okay, we're going to be talking about manifesting today. Why are your thoughts so important when it comes to creating your outer reality? Let's get into it. So, we are here to talk about why your thoughts are so important when you're manifesting. So, I used to do a lot of whiteboard videos, and I am no longer at that space. And I'm trying to make it work in a way. So, let's just see how this goes. I know some of you missed it. Ignore my shoddy handwriting. This thing is wobbling. So we're going to be talking about why thoughts are important when it comes to manifesting. And a lot of the time I talk about, well, what is the majority of your thought process? What are you thinking a majority of the time? So I say 51% and above. I'm not the only person that says that, but that is what your majority is, right? 51% and above. The goal is to continue to increase that so you can live a more abundant and purposeful life, one that's in alignment with what you actually truly want. Because a lot of the time when we start to think more positively, we have more negative come up. So why is that? Because you're getting rid of the old. So when you start to raise your vibration, more negative will come at you to ask you, well, do you like this or not? That's the universe's way of knowing what you relate to. So it's not a slight at you. It's not meant to cause you trouble. It's simply meant to give you the opportunity to become non-reactive to what you don't like or to be neutral to it. So you want to associate positive emotion to things that are going really well for you and around you so that you can manifest more of that. And what will that do? Eventually, because you're only getting really excited or reactive to the things that are working out well, the universe will give you more of that because your positive reaction to it will signal to them that you want more. And that's how you become hopeful. But today, I'm going to show you something, and you're going to painstakingly watch me do this to see how many thoughts you can have in like even a minute or an hour, and how that manifests into 3D form and matter. So if you're a Joe Dispenza fan, I mean, if you're not, then you really need to be a Joe Dispenza fan. I love Joe Dispenza. And he talks about the atom, or generally, let's just think about it as quantum physics, right? A circle, an atom, is made up of empty space, 99% empty space. And the way I like to look at this, and I think this is kind of what Joe means, is when it comes to energy, right? You're 99% energy and 1% matter, meaning you have the circle, okay? That is what manifests. That's what I'm going to look at as what your outer reality becomes. Okay, so we are going to draw 99 dots in here together. And the reason I'm not going to skip through this is because I want you to see how long it takes, but also how many thoughts that really is. Okay? And why it's important, right? Because you're filling up this atom, this empty space, with what your intentions are, whether or not you realize it, whether or not you actually know what you're signaling out. So it's going to be more painful for me than it is for you, hoping that this easel remains still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 90, 99, 90, 100. Sorry, there we go. 99. 99 thoughts. Okay? What is going to manifest based on these thoughts? I don't know exactly where 51% will take us. Let's just say, what is going to manifest based on the number of thoughts right there? What is going to become matter when you look at 51% of your thoughts? Ignore my writing. I cannot write like this. It's going to manifest when it comes to 51% of your thoughts, just up there. So you can actually see a visual, right? Because the more you're thinking these 51 thoughts, the 51% of thoughts, the more you're emitting that to the universe. They're like, okay, cool, there's a mixture of other thoughts in here. This could be positive or negative. That's up to you. This could be out of alignment. This could be sabotage. And sabotage is not negative. It kind of gives us an indication of where we need to reframe. And so let's say you have a minute of a spiral, right? That spiral doesn't mean that your manifestation doesn't exist. It could just be that things are clearing out. Is the spiral you're going through something that you face a majority of? Or is it something that happens temporarily, once every few days, and then you allow yourself to get up and go back to these positive thoughts? So essentially, again, what is it going to create? What are these 99 thoughts going to create when it comes to matter? Because every single moment, every single second, millisecond, you are putting your thought vibration into this atom. Okay? So we can look at it pretty basic and simple. And so when it comes to being reactionary, as I was saying, I've done a whole video of this on my Instagram and I'll come back to it. But we need to be conscious of making sure we are, as I said, being reactive to what we want. So something negative happens and then we feel really sad or we feel triggered. That's normal, right? You're allowed to have those moments. But when the opposite of the circumstance you want appears in front of your face, do you show the universe that that upsets you? A lot of the time this happens in love. So let's erase this and talk a little bit about that. I know it was helpful. Go back and take a screenshot because I want everything to be in. You know what? I don't know how I like this easel. I've given it a shot. This has been such a process to figure out how to make these videos because the whiteboard that I could find that's already on an easel is portrait and I need it landscape. And I can't have one of the rolly ones here, but we'll figure it out. All right, so let's say that you want to manifest love, right? You have a person in mind. You're like, this is a person in mind that I have when it comes to love. And you're putting out all these positive thought vibrations. You're affirming. You're visualizing. You're positive, hopeful, and you're embodying. So you're already living as a version of you that you would be in this relationship. You've changed your routine, you changed the way you dress, you changed the way you magnetize, you changed the way you eat. Not because the relationship requires that, because you'd feel so much more confident in certain areas, right? So you're starting to omit this. Let's say you're not talking to this person, you don't really know what's going on. Out comes information of a third party. Ooh, right? Fuck. I heard they're with somebody else. I heard they hooked up with somebody else. I heard they're talking to somebody else. I heard they're on a date with somebody else. Fuck, right? Negative spiral. You're like, it's not working. I'm manifesting. Look at me putting all this positive thought. The fuck's this POS doing with somebody else? Right? So the thought should be everything that I'm putting out is reaffirming my truths to me. The reason I see the third party is because the third party is clearing out. It's in my awareness because it's old energy. It no longer exists. It's only manifested to show me that what I'm doing is working to get me into the relationship that I desire. Everything that happens with the third party is a reminder to my person that I'm the one for them. Okay? And that's a hard shift because, like I said, people become really reactive to this, start spiraling over this. Inconsequential. It doesn't matter. And a lot of the time, the feeling you're chasing is how you felt and who you are versus who the person is. So a lot of things can be adjusted as long as they're in your, as long as they are in your best interests and alignment with your goals, your visions, and your values. So the more you start to visualize and you affirm your value to yourself, the less likely the universe will bring you this person back, your actual SP back, if they are not in alignment with everything you've set. And so you may start to see the opposite. You may see separation. You may see more silence. You may see more of like them just not, like it may just become more clear that they're not in your 3D reality. Maybe you start to figure out that they're dating other people. Maybe you start to see that, or you start to feel like your visualizing isn't helping. So those are not the thoughts to use. You need to remind yourself that 3D is dead. The 3D does not exist. Because the 3D is old. It's already something you've manifested. And a simple way to look at this is like, if you, let me erase this. And have you ever noticed when you switch your intentions around somebody, or you just decide you don't want somebody in your life anymore, they don't show up in your reality? It's because you create your reality, right? You cut somebody off, or, you know, like a toxic friend, family member, person, you're like, I don't want you in my reality. Or like, I'm done with this lesson, right? I'm done with you. And they don't show up in your reality anymore because they're not in your thought vibration anymore. Okay? Things return when they're still in your thought vibration to learn, to teach you lessons, or if they're in alignment. Or eventually, if, like I said, everything is matching up, it'll resurface, okay? Through the cycle of letting the old phase and letting the new phase come in. Okay. Let's say, example for today. Okay. I just had a meeting today. Today is December the 2nd. I'm running an event. We're running a money magnetism event. Me and Cindy, we just met today. If you're interested, links in the bio. February 21st, locally in Langley. December 2nd. It was on, I can't remember exactly. Let's just ballpark it. November 29th. Oh no, it was the 28th. It was the 28th. On November 28th, we decided that we are going to have a meeting. We already had today blocked off because we're supposed to do a photo shoot, and then a bunch of unprofessional people decided not to respond. Maybe it worked in our benefit because we recorded a bunch of content. We decided we're going to have a meeting, right? We put that intention out there on November the 28th, and now today, that meeting surfaced in the 3D. We knew the meeting was going to happen. We had certainty. We scheduled it. I gave her the address, asked for a license plate. I got her a visitor parking. I booked the amenities room. We didn't have doubt that the meeting was happening. It was in our calendar. It's in our books. That's actually manifestation. So would the meeting have already happened on November the 28th? No, because it wasn't December the 2nd. November the 28th is old energy. The manifestation surfaced on December the 2nd when it was meant to, because we already knew, we already had that level of certainty. So when you start to look at your reality and you start to have a level of certainty about it, like, I know my intentions mean that it's going to align with me, that it will surface because I set the intention. We can have more confidence after a while, but we have a lack of confidence when it comes to money, when it comes to love, when it comes to like confusion and uncertainty. Because we're like, oh, these things don't feel like they're in our control. So we have to take our control back, we have to take our power back to know that it takes time. Right? It takes time for this to integrate. So if things are shifting, things are moving, things have left your field, they're going to come back in an aligned way if they're meant to come back in that aligned way. Or again, if that's your intention, if that's what you're visualizing. And I've seen this a lot this year in my life too. By the time that something resurfaces, 75% of the time, I don't want the thing anymore. It comes back in the package that I want, or it comes back closer to what I was seeking months prior. And then it comes and I'm like, why did I even want that thing? I've shifted out of it. So then you can use discernment, right? Or you see what was actually working through that middle period of dead space. And I've done another video on this, but I will make a whole video on, this is not going to work for me. This whole situation is not going to work for me. This easel. Oh, I had it like taped on my, or mounted on my wall before. and it was way easier. We'll figure it out. So I'll make a video on this. You're flying, right? You're going from destination A to C. In between, you have the layover. I can't draw a plane right now, but whatever, okay? Whatever. The plane's going. You go to the layover. You know the layover's there. You know that in between here are 12 hours of flight time and that you have a 3-hour layover. You're not worried on the layover that you're not going to make it to destination C, are you? You know, it's fact. You have the ticket. You need to treat your life that way with that level of certainty. So the layover is the lag in between. The time in the sky is a time it takes to get to the destination. You've bought the ticket by setting your intention. You've bought the ticket by telling the universe what you want. So whatever happens in between, turbulence, fear, you have a few meals, you take a nap. Like when I get on this plane from B to get to C, I trust that I've reached my destination. I'm not going to land somewhere else. I'm not going to be in Tokyo when I asked to go to Shanghai. I'm going to land where I could, because I couldn't get there without my ticket, without my boarding pass. And when you get there, you may learn something new. You may see, I like this. You may see, I don't like this. You may say, yeah, you want to venture out. You may say, you know what, I want to go to Shanghai. Maybe I didn't want to go to Tokyo. That's okay. That's discernment. That's the power we have as individuals to make these sort of decisions and understand this from our life circumstance. All right. So I hope that helped you understand a little bit more about manifesting. So like I was saying in the beginning, what are those 99 thoughts going to manifest into when you look at 51% of those thoughts? When you look at 51 of those thoughts, what is the majority and what is it going to manifest when it comes to that circle? When it comes to the atom, what will be the dominant vibration that shows you what your manifestation is? All right. I hope that this helped. Catch you guys next time. Make sure you're subscribed. Any other questions you have about manifesting, let me know. And I'll try my best to get to them. If you want to join the Money Magnetizing Workshop, you can get the link via Eventbrite and the link tree in my description box. All right, guys, take care.